She left the pool area. I'll say I, as in Adriana. First and foremost, she wants me to address her parents and her grandmother. She stopped me just now. She thanked her father for his spiritual abilities. She said she love you. I love you, mommy. But daddy, now that I'm here, I overstand your energy. Daddy, I overstand your energy. Daddy, now I overstand your energy. Daddy, it was a reason why you were sick when mommy was pregnant. It was a reason why mommy never got the sickness that she would usually get when she's pregnant, when a woman is pregnant. Mommy, tell the world the truth. Tell the world the story. Tell the world what I'm telling Rosalind tonight, Sister Rosalind tonight, is the truth. You did not endure the normal sickness in your pregnancy with me. You had a beautiful pregnancy. You were excited. You were happy for your entire 9 months. Daddy was the one that was sick. It was transferred to daddy. When daddy said that he barely tell you I in that building, my whole skin is growing. I can now tell the world it's because daddy knew I was in that building. Daddy knew I was in that building. They could have distracted you, mommy. They could have had you going looking for that taxi. But daddy stood his grounds and you complied. This is the spiritual transmission of the truth. That's it for that. Let me continue now straight into what happened. So that young lady, I left the pool, left the area, above the pool area, where everybody had their bags. Where everybody had their bags and their belongings, Granny, right where you was. I left there. And I went to get the van. I never went to that hotel. I personally don't know that place. A woman, not a young lady, because I asked her energies. I said, is it a younger person? She said, no, it's not a younger person. It was a woman that went looking for the wristbands because I wanted to know what other colors they had. But she was already identified by the owner. And that young lady took her in a room, at the entrance of a room. And she was standing at the entrance. She didn't go in the room. And she said she's looking, and the young lady was looking for the stuff. And she said, oh, look, I have these colors here. See if you like one of these. And she slipped into the room unconsciously. Immediately after she slipped into the room, the young lady come out of the room and hands pulled her behind the doors. She said she blacked out at that point. She don't remember anything at that point. That's when I transmitted what she told me on Facebook at that point of her body being missing. That they drugged her. And check the cameras. You will see hands pulling her. It's on my page. It's on my page before they found the body. All my transmission. It's on my page. I transmitted that it was 2 persons. It was a father and a son. I transmitted the description that she was showing me. everything. Tall, with a bigish belly. The son is short, not so tall, not short. I didn't use the word short, not so tall, and a bit slim. Yep. She even described the clothes. I said, Ariana, what, you know, what did they had on? She said the short person had on a blue jersey and a black pants. And the tall person had on a yellow shirt or top and a blue jeans. Sit back, meditate, and reminisce. If you saw those persons around the pool area before you recognized that that child was missing, the clothing that I'm describing will come to light. Will come to light. It's buried. The clothing is buried, but it will be discovered. Yep. She was then taken into another room when she became conscious. When she gained back consciousness? No. Correction. She's telling me everything. Even to the part where she was unconscious. She's now spirit-wise available to tell me the entire ordeal of what transpired. They then took her into another door. From the stockroom door, one of the stockroom doors, the door is on the right hand from the reception area. The door is on the right hand. And then in that room has another door. And the other door leads to a stair that is made of metal steel. A steel stair. It is alongside the elevator. When you're going down the stairs, you can see the elements of the infrastructure of the elevator. It is made of steel. And they took her down to a lower flat. They took her into a other room where they usually take their victims and do the entertainment part of it, which is a sexual molestation part of it. And then there's a Hindu ritual altar that they do to maintain wealth, maintain power, and be on top of everyone. Their rituals, their beliefs, their cultural practices, evil, iniquitous practices. The altar area, it will be revealed to the world. The altar area is made out of a expensive tile. That's what she's telling me. It's made out of an expensive tile. And the bottom of it is like a bathtub. So it's, imagine, and then it's an arch. And there's a big God. And there's a monkey in the room. We're going to find out all the evidence. It's intact. The persons that work there are going to speak of the monkey that they feed. That they only see the monkey once in a while. And then the monkey goes into disappearance. And then suddenly the monkey comes back out in the open air. And then he goes back into wherever they keeps him. It's down in that room. Yep. And the big God is right there. And the altar is like a little pool. It's like how you see those water fountains. You'll have like a water fountain, and then you'll have like a little sink area. And it's made out of an expensive tile. I'm feeling a vibration of granite tile. And that's where they light the fire, the camphor, and everything, and they do the rituals. And then they lay the dead body down there in this hole. It's space enough to hold a long body. It's space enough. The sink area, it's enough to take a long body. They were angry because y'all didn't move. They did not get to do what they had fully planned to do with her because y'all did not move. She was then molested. When she got her consciousness of what is going on, she woke up naked skin, naked as she's born. One person, the short person, was pulling her hands in the back of her head, and the tall person was molesting her. He was carrying out oral sexual molestation on her when she regained conscious. She tried to fight, and the person that was holding her hands behind her back, behind her head, squeezed her hands so hard, so tight. She said it was like a monster holding me. I feel the skin of my hands begin to squeeze off. She tried to fight and turn. And as she pulled forward and pulled backward, the white tiles, burnt her kneecaps. Burnt it. It's burnt from tile soil in it. Imagine you have your elbows on a tile and somebody pulling you up and down on that tile. In an instant, it will burn like fire. Because she was trying to turn over from the person that was trying to molest her. She was trying to turn over. And in the turning over constantly and fighting while somebody's restraining her from behind, and her body's pushing down and pushing up, they bruised her kneecaps. That's how my kneecap got bruised, mommy and daddy. It was from the burns on the tile that burnt me. And my hands that got damaged, it was because they were squeezing my hands so tight, mommy, so tight that I felt like the skin was coming off my wrist. I squeezed him. There's scratches on his neck. Mommy, there's scratches on that short person's neck and on their wrist and on their hand. I scratched. I did all I could. They molested her. They both shared the molestation. They inserted their fingers in her because they wanted to make sure they get the blood to put to the altar. They recognized that they wasn't getting the energies that they wanted to get to penetrate her with their penis. While all of this was happening, the riot outside was distracting them. They hostage her between 12:30 minutes to 1. By the time 1:30, she was blanked out, unconscious. She woke up minutes to 3. When she woke up, that's when the molestation started. Then the tall man said to the short man, the shorter person, go in front and see what's going on and come back. Left share with me. I'm going to deal with it. You go. Go and make sure everything on the control. They have a sink and a washroom in that room. He cleanses, he wash up himself, fresh up himself, and he went back upstairs. He have a radio set that he and the boss alone uses. The radio set. All of this is going to come to light. All of this. And his cell phone has messages with him messaging downstairs what is going on upstairs. GT&T has all the evidence. GT&T has all the evidence of the text messages. of him telling him what is going on outside. Because by the time he came back outside, that's when they recognized that these people are totally looking for this child. So the energies of being able to rape her brutally, they didn't get the chance to do that. He then went back down after that, probably about, what time did he went down back, Ariana? 4:30. 4:30 went back down. And then they light the altar. And they decided that they're going to start the ritual. They feed the monkey bananas. They talked. They harassed her, beat her up, physically tried to hurt her. And then both of them were both of them were confused to what to do. What will they do? Because these people downstairs going to the station. So then the tall person left and left her with the short person. The tall person changed, came, and he called the commando. And he went to the station. And he paid the commando $1 million. $1 million was paid up front to make them leave. When that was done, the commander tried his utmost best. That $1 million was paid between 6 and 7:30. 6 p.m. and 7:30 that night to make them leave. About 9:30, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, 9:30 the latest, when the owner recognized that it's out of control, it's heading out of control, and he can't get to execute what he plans to do and how he plans to do it, he called X-House. He called X-House for help, because it's a normal routine that he does it and he gets off all the time. He is related to white minister that takes care of children, the entire nation children. He's related to her. That is why she showed up. Yep, he's related to her. He called X-House, explained he's in deep shit, because they're good like that. They don't have to say, I think I make a mistake. They know what they do and how they do it and who they do it for, because they're a clique. They're a clique. $10 million were then paid. X-House called XYZ commissioner. Z commissioner was called. The journalist knows who I'm speaking about because I called the exact name who was called. And Z commissioner called back the commando and tell the commando, what's country get yourself in? Yeah, get it fucking fixed. Get it right. Get it right. Make them fucking people go home. Get it fucking right. That is when ex-commando declared that they got footage of her leaving the premises in a car. He tried his best to do his damage control. That's when the $10 million was paid. $10 million was split up between Z, commissioner, and the house, and X-House, and team. Yep. When I have transmitted this privately to a few persons, that the amount of $11 million was paid to do this entire cover-up. Z, commissioner, then called everybody that he know is the dirty dogs, that is ready to take some of this $10 million to get it done. That is when 3 police officers from the dirty group, 3 of them said, we got it covered. And they give the other ordinary man and woman that was in the building a little pinch off for it. And they explained to them, all of them knew, they explained to them, it's a little boyfriend and girlfriend situation, and they get out of hand. They explain, bear in mind, down to the dirty cops that agreed to do certain things. The black ones didn't even know the dimension of what we're getting into. Didn't really have a clue of what we're getting into. Including, you see the word backfire right now? Is the main word for tonight. You see who the ancestors use? Guyanese critics. Guyanese critics. My people, didn't I transmit to Yahoo coming? Didn't I transmit that every system and all the persons on the oppressors in the end, enablers, karma's gonna hit them? Our ancestors gonna use them as our tool, as our footstool? I have been transmitting. I don't know who was taking the data and who was listening. You see the backfire? Guyanese critics on the scene. Right now, Guyanese critics is in a puckle, because he is now beginning to comprehend is where really he get himself involved with. Because he got in there for the benefits and the gains. Originally, he got in there because he thought he was standing up for justice, and he was standing up for, what the country really needs. Genuinely. But then he got red eye with the goodies. But he didn't know the goodies got some real dirty waters underneath. So now he beginning to comprehend. Wait, you see the backfire? You see the backfire what happened there? Huh. So, let me continue. The $11 million was paid to cover this shit up. To cover up this entire evil operation. Ashe, Ariana. Ariana said to me, Sister Rosalind, I was chosen for this journey. I said, what? What do you mean you was chosen for this journey? She said, tell mommy and daddy, don't cry. Don't cry. I don't want nobody cry at my funeral. I want everybody to be smiling at my funeral. Put me down in joy. Ashe. I said, why would you want, why would you say something like this? She said, Sister Rosalind, go research the number 11. And as I began to research the number 11, I crossed paths with it a number of times. As I began to research the number 11, and I began to comprehend the deepness of what is transpiring. I was in utter shock. I was in utter shock that I transmitted that $11 million, $1 million upfront first, and then 10 million when it got out of hand. I was like, oh my gosh, this child is 11 years old and it's $11 million. Then it went more deep. It went more deep. Count the years from the last revolution to the Slavery Abolishment Act from 1823 to 1834. Exactly 11 years. And the ancestors brought me to a place where they said, you're transmitting. So the night went by with them strategizing what they're going to do. What are they going to do? Then he returned to the hotel. 11 something that night. Through the back entrance. And they light the altar, put in what they had to put in. They had already gained some blood from her. They poured the blood. They give the monkey the blood to drink. That's usual what they usually do. And then they took her head, they hold her by her hair at the back. She said, that's how come my hair is so slack, because they held my head at that point. And whilst they were doing their rituals with the fire flaming, they were putting my head to the fire. I don't know if they were trying to burn my hair or burn my head off, but I tried my best to come away, to fight away from it. And it scorched parts of my face. It's parts of my face. In that resistance, the short person held me down and the tall person choked me until I was dead. Choked me. I fight and I fight and I fight. And they damaged my neck. They choked me until I could not have literally breathe. They choked me to death. And they loosed me at that altar. I fell dead on the outside. And then they both stopped, poured rum on me, drank some of the rum and spit it on me. And then they relaxed for a moment and enjoyed the feeling that they were thirsting for. And then they jerked off. They had an orgasm. And they both placed their orgasm, their sperms on my face. They placed their sperms on my breasts, on my chest. Then they placed me in the altar a little way from the fire. Then they both had a shower. And they changed clothes. Because when he came back late that night, he brought changed clothes for all of us. For all of them. He brought changed clothes for them. Then I was dead. They continued their rituals. And then they start getting phone calls. They start making phone calls. Then about 2 something that night. 1 something minutes to 2. They went and had a highfalutin meeting. And that's when they came up with the concoction of what they're going to do. That's when they had to tell the details of what and what transpired physically. Which part of her get dig, which part of her get hurt. They show the scratches. That's how they move. They're a team. They're a blood-sucking team. The Black Commissioner X, Commissioner Z is comfortable. Commissioner Z is comfortable with the rituals because he wants to stay in power. He don't care about his people. He wants to make sure that he's in power. He has no mercy for his people, no heart. He enjoys the murders, the killings. He enjoys it. There was a WhatsApp call, a group WhatsApp call, and they met and they connected with the dirty cops. They concluded that you will need DNA removal chemicals with my connection. So the dirty cops, CID, said, boy, the little girl DNA there on you. And the little girl DNA, your DNA there in the little girl fingernails. And that's when the chemical came into place. That's when the dirty cop, that same dirty cop, same wet pants dirty cop, that's when the dirty cop decides that the chemicals is the solution. Because the scars from the heat of the fire on her face, and he poured it on her hands. They cleaned her hands and he poured it. So the pathologist, look at her knees and look at her face and her hands, and you'll see that it's chemicals on her two hands and chemicals on her face to make it look familiar, to make it look like if, their sperms was on her face. That's why. And when the parents speak the story, they will tell you that there's a little bit of that chemicals around her vagina area as well. Yep. It's on her pants. The chemicals scarred her pants. I'm speaking the black truth. That is gonna kill y'all alive. You're gonna pine yourself away to death. Evil. So they use the chemicals to make sure that none of the sperm's traces and the DNA traces is ever going to be found, because the killers had to tell the truth, what they did, so that they could get professional help to cover it up. Yep. Her body was then placed in a garbage bag, a black garbage bag, placed into the same trolley to transport. The trolley was sent down. The trolley was taken downstairs, put the body in, then taken with the elevator and brought up and placed in a room at the side of the building on the ground floor. Made its way to the side of the building. The body was never in that room that y'all think that the body was in the room. The room that they set on fire, that wasn't it. Let me give you the fire scenario now. Ariana said they were advised by ex-commissioner, by Z Commissioner, by Z Commissioner, Commissioner Z. That with the raid they going on out there, we need to just burn the fucking building down and done the dance, because at least they can get to see none of the evidence. Burn the building down and put the blame on them. So that was the plan. Dirty cop, wet pants cop, got a lot of balls. So the instructions to just focus and burn the building down and then anybody can get fined in the building burnt. He's very bright. He reasoned Commander, show Commander how we can walk this scene. Commander go by the orders. Commander go in front there, detour everybody, distract everybody. And Dirty Cop went to the side of the room, the side room, the side door, the side room on the side next to a stock room on the side where garbage stuff just be, garbage cans and stuff. Collect the body, took it out of the bag, came to the beginning of the pool where you just step down in the shallow. Step down and drop that body right there in the pool. Then step back. Then step right back. While that was happening, we had the black melanated Dirty Cop inside, distracting everybody on the inside. Distracting everybody on the inside. So that could have been done. Bearing in mind, female khaki clothes officer saw the body being put into the pool and said nothing. Everybody got a cut of that $10 million. Or the job is going to be lost. And if they keep silent, they're going to be promoted to the next promotion. Yep. He is demanding another $5 million right now. And he's contemplating to migrate. Soon you're going to hear he's not in the country. Can't find him. He left the country for 2-3 years. Come again. Yep. Because he did beyond what Commissioner Z. He's a bright banner. He's a bright boy. Got good education. He's very intelligent. Very bright. That's why they call he on the scene. Bright bad, like money bad. When he was instructed to just burn the building down, he showed them that he must kill more than that. He's going to make sure he put the body back in the pool. Then he can burn the building down. That person that was on their knees in the room, they were lighting the mattress afire. That's what they were doing. They were busy trying to inflict a fire from the mattress. There's going to be a number of misleading leads that will make y'all get distracted, but don't get distracted. Adriana assured us since either yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. When I transmitted it. All the evidence are intact. All the evidence are intact. And they will find the DNA in her fingernails. And they will find the DNA of the sperms. Because the chemical did what it could do and the thing the water could take. They think that it's going to be washed away, but it will not be. The evidence will be found. and cops are going to speak out. She said, Mommy, Daddy, don't worry. The cops already started speaking out. Yep. My daughter told me, Mommy, I have never seen you do a live that have so much interruption. The cops are already speaking out. There's going to be phone calls coming out. It's going to get leaked. Everything is going to be leaked out. Everything. Every single thing. The United States Embassy and the Russian Embassy, both of them have the interception of the calls that was made. Both of them have it. Both of them have it. Multiple persons have the interception. And the text messages, and the Canadian Embassy, and the British Embassy. Yep. Even ExxonMobil have the interception of the calls. Yep. But I want you guys to see how silent the US ambassador is. How silent the British ambassador is. I want you guys to recognize that. If it was an Indian child, and if it was an Indian massacre taking place, the US ambassador, the Canadian ambassador, and the British ambassador would have already spoken out. I want y'all to recognize that. Okay? But guess what? They're all into the rituals. They just do it on the next level. They're all into the rituals. They just do it to the next level. It's deep. So, the person that was on their knees, the persons that was in that room was concocting how to start the fire fast. But backfire again. Ancestors promise us all the system gonna be backfired to liberate us. Child. They should have waited a little bit more for when the chaos happened and then start the fire. But they didn't realize that they started the fire in the middle of the discovery of the child. So everything get caught when the smoke start coming out. A kitchen staff and a family member that helped internally. A female family member. A female family member that helped internally. They went to Bubuja, or wherever they do, last month. And this month, they're ready to counteract the month of Ramadan. They're ready to counteract the month of Ramadan. Yep. It's a lot that is happening. And I warned y'all, cultural heritage said, well, we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it 10 times more. 10 against them. So right now, she wants to tell her grandmother that she loves her dearly. And she wants her to know that she's sorry that she asked her grandmother to take her to that pool. Even though she comprehends the journey that she's on. She said, Granny, if I didn't torment you for carrying me, we wouldn't go. We would not have been there. And I should have asked you to follow me from a wristband. But I didn't. I go on my own. She said, Daddy and Mommy, sleep with my pink teddy bear in the middle. Sleep with my pink teddy bear in the middle. And Daddy, please keep my kite safe. Make sure you fly it back. Make sure you go back and fly it. My kite behind the door. Daddy, go back and fly my kite for me, you know. She wants to tell her brothers that she's sorry for the times that she didn't listen and she always picking on them and fighting with them. She said, Mommy, I'm sorry for the times that you tell me don't be patient with my brothers. And I still didn't used to listen and I fight with them and, you know, play rough with them. I'm sorry. She said to her aunties, her cousins, and her grandmother, she's sorry for always bothering them or using their slippers. She said, Granny, I know when you hear this, you're going to laugh. I'm sorry. For everybody's slippers that they used to always trouble. But I'm in a more powerful place now. And I will be looking over and guiding you guys. And I will be visiting you guys. And I already dream, y'all. Stop being afraid of me. When you see a butterfly in the house, know it's me. When you see a butterfly in the house tomorrow, know it's me. I'm going to visit all my family tomorrow. Everybody house. Auntie house, uncle house,